All reports indicate that opposition forces are now within striking distance of Damascus. This map shows the latest situation. Only the shaded area in pink, or is it red? I'm actually colourblind. The smaller shaded area in the map anyway. Only that bit is still controlled by the Assad regime. And more footage show Bashar Assad's loyalists are abandoning their positions, so by the time I make this video and post it to YouTube, even this map might be out of date. The Russians who saved the Syrian regime last time seem unable to do so this time, as they're too busy in their own war with Ukraine. Iran's regime and its proxy Hezbollah, they're on their knees and they seem unable to rescue Assad's regime this time. Unless Bashar and his loyalists can somehow pull off a massive offensive from Damascus, it looks like Assad's regime and the rule of the Ba'ath Party in Syria is about to end. To add another layer of complexity, Turkey-backed factions have also targeted Kurdish-controlled areas in the northeast. This underscores the multi-front nature of this conflict, involving not just the Syrian regime and just one opposition group, but a multi-layer of different groups fighting for bits and pieces of Syria. So it could mean the post-Assad Syria will not be just one entity in one country, but Syria will break into different fragments. And what will the post-Assad Syria look like? On the positive side, it looks like Iran and its proxy, the Hezbollah, and Russia are all out of Syria, which is devastating for all of them. Iran had invested so much in Syria, in its military hardware aids, providing troops and money, and Hezbollah can no longer rely on Syria as its supply routes for weapons and cash. But the worrying part is the HTS, the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, the main group that has led the recent offensive. An Islamist group prescribed by the US and the UK as a terrorist group and a breakaway from Al-Qaeda. Will they install another Islamist regime in Syria? Will Syria become another power vacuum like Libya? It will be a disaster for all if it does. Will the HTS allow Hamas and Islamic Jihad, who seem to be their ideological allies, to rebuild and regroup themselves in this future Syria? If the future Syria is a proxy satellite regime for Erdogan's Turkey, then that's nothing to look forward to. Will the non-Sunni Muslims in Syria be persecuted, or worse still, be massacred, as we saw with ISIS when they took over parts of Iraq and Syria? Now, in an interview with CNN, the leader of the HTS, Mohammed al-Jolani, said he is changed and wants all of Syria's minorities and religions to live together. Let's watch part of his interview.
You have talked about strict Islamic rule. Is that still the plan?
People who fear Islamic governance either have seen incorrect implementations of it or do not understand it properly. We are talking about something that aligns with the traditions and nature of the region. The most important thing is to build institutions. We are not talking about rule by individuals or personal whims. It's about institutional governance. Syria deserves a governing system that is institutional, not one where a single ruler makes arbitrary decisions.
Many Syrians are happy and will be happy to see the end of the Assad regime, but they're also worried about what HTS rule would mean, including minorities.
No one has the right to erase another group. These sects have coexisted in this region for hundreds of years, and no one has the right to eliminate them. There must be a legal framework that protects and ensures the rights of all, not a system that serves only one sect, as Assad's regime has done.
You know, listening to you speaking, you've gone through quite the transformation. Once an Al-Qaeda leader, your group has had affiliations with Al-Qaeda, with ISIS, and now you are projecting this image of a moderate leader and a moderate group. What is HTS right now?
Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is one of the factions in the region, just like all the others. Now we're talking about a larger project. We're talking about building Syria. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham is merely one detail of this dialogue, and it may dissolve at any time. It's not an end in itself, but a means to perform a task confronting this regime. Once that task is complete, it will transition to a state of governance, institutions, and so on. I believe that everyone in life goes through phases and experiences, and these experiences naturally increase a person's awareness. A person in their 20s will have a different personality than someone in their 30s or 40s, and certainly someone in their 50s.
So are those days behind you?
Sometimes it's essential to adjust to reality, and because someone who rigidly clings to certain ideas and principles without flexibility cannot effectively lead societies or navigate complex conflicts like the one happening in Syria.
So what do you think? Can we believe him? Has he really become more moderate? The problem is I've seen his type lie before. I've seen Khomeini say different things to the international media when he was in France. When he said all political parties will be free in Iran after the Shah, or when he said women will not have to wear the mandatory hijab and will be free to choose. But when he came to power, it was a different story. And when he was asked about all the stuff that he promised in France, he just rebuffed the question saying, yeah, well, you know, I said lots of things in France, so what? I think the future is uncertain in Syria, but right now Turkey and Hamas are the happiest actors out of all of them. But we shall see. Let me know what you think by writing in the comment section, and thanks for watching this video.